Is it possible to make a full professional track with just one preset pack? Let's find out. We're going to use this new trance preset pack by Demis Hellen, who is an amazing trance producer and sound designer. I made a track just using this one preset bank alone, and in this video I'm going to walk you through my track that I made with Demis's preset pack, every single step and exactly what presets I use. So let's have a look. Every single synth sound here, so pad, ARP, lead, things like that, the bass as well, are all made with Demis's preset pack, and it's only the drums that I've added in extra myself. So let's start breaking down this track. So we'll start right at the beginning, and we'll come on to the synths and bass lines and etc. in a second. But we start with a kick, so that's where I'll start this breakdown. I used the Metrum plugin from Vengeance to create a trance-based kick. And I actually layered this up with a kick punch as well, which is also in Metrum, to add a bit more punch. So I'll just take that off again. That's without. This is with. So a lot more sort of trance punchy there, more traditional trance kick. And the reason I added the punch wasn't in there for quite some time. It was only until I started referencing other trance tracks on Beatport. This is really, really essential, guys, to reference other commercially released tracks to get your track in the right ballpark in terms of loudness and frequency response, and things like, is the kick punching through? How loud is the kick? How loud is the bass sub? How much has that top end been boosted? And all things like that, because if you can get it similar to the commercially released ones, you know you're in the right ballpark. So that's why I added the kick punch there. The clap tail, or clap with tail as I've called it, is a sample from a sample pack. I think it's just been cut down in size. So all standard stuff pretty much so far. Let's carry on. So I can hear some effects in the background, so let's have a look at those, because Demis's pack does come with effects built in as well. So let's have a look at this one. This one's called White Noise Down Sidechain, and I've just triggered it with one note. You can see that it's white noise in the sampler here. Okay, and then there's another one coming in here called the growl bass. So let's have a little listen to that. Quite a funky effect there. I haven't done much to that, or this one here. I've just pretty much just triggered it with a long note. So you haven't got to do too much to these presets unless you want to, of course. And we also start off with just a crash, which I've added here, with some long reverb on it and a little bit of stereo delay. So that atmospheric noise there was a bit of percussion, I think. It's just a sample. Let's take all the stuff off it. So mono delay and tons of reverb. So that's all that was. It's kind of like a lo-fi clap. That's all that was. This is not from Demis's pack or anything. It's just a sample I found. But I'm just showing you what you can do with a boring sample. So that's all it is. Put our reverb back on. We put our delay back on. Let's have a look at the EQ as well. Not a lot going on there. Just the low end taken off. Pretty standard. And you end up with this. And that creates tons of atmosphere, which is what you need in a trance track, of course. So there's another effect there, white noise up, that one's called, another preset from the pack. And you can see all the filters and everything have already been programmed in, manipulated by LFOs and envelopes and things like that. So it's all really, really great stuff. What do we have coming in before? It's just another one of those percussion things there. It's just a percussion hit I used in a sampler track, nothing fancy there. After the white noise up, we use white noise down. So this is obviously the long DJ-friendly intro. The bass will start in just a second. Yes, so this effect here works really well. It's called LFO stall. That works really well in this track. Let's just see what that's doing. Some great modulation going on there. And that leads into our bass line really, really nicely. Let's have a listen. So let's have a look at our bass line. We've got 3 layers, I believe. Let's just make the automation a bit smaller there. So we've got Trance Bass 1, which is obviously a preset. And this is what it sounds like. So it's doing the lower region, but without the sub. I've taken off the sub and the top end because we've got 3 layers. So one layer is doing the sub, one layer is doing the sort of lower mids, and then another layer is doing the mids. And we've got shaper box on here just to give it a bit of movement, and also to take it away from the kick so the bass doesn't play at the same time as the kick. Most important. So Trance Mid, also another preset in Demis's pack. Trance Mid 1. And you blend that in with the first one. And blend in the trance sub as well. Trance sub is also a preset in the pack, and it's best to separate your layers so you have full control on the frequency balance of your bass line. So if you wanted to increase the sub layer or decrease the sub layer in volume, you've got full control here. You haven't got to go in and EQ, let's say this one, and start trying to boost a tiny bit of the sub here. It's just a lot easier to do it on its own individual channel. So all 3 of those are from the pack. Reverse crash leading up to that. So this is a crash here, which I've probably just bounced down and reversed. That's what I normally do. And the programming of the notes is just the old classic trance from 20 years ago or so. It's just 2 notes and then 2 notes octave up. 2 notes, 2 notes octave up. That's all that is. Okay, so we've got a bit of a riff coming in very, very slowly here. This is called ARP Stabs, another preset from Demis. All these presets come with effects obviously already built in and modulation all ready to go. A lot of them come with macros as well. This one doesn't, but most presets do come with macros, which you can manipulate the sound how you want it to go with the touch of one button. So I've got a cut off automation here. And it's just do. Just a simple pattern is all you need in trance. You'll also notice that I just brought in the trance mid gently. I didn't bring it in full blast when the bass line starts. Let's put this on 3 rows now so we can see a bit more. Just adds to the build-up, the general build-up style that you use in trance music. Don't bring things in full blast at the start. You know, build things up slowly, which is what we're doing here. So we're bringing in this melody here, obviously really, really gently with a cut-off filter. Realm is a really good reverb plugin, by the way, discovered fairly recently. It just sounds amazing. So I'm starting to use this Realm quite a bit on this track and other tracks. So the leads were just a tiny bit dry without it. So without and with. And as you can see, just a little bit of EQ just to bring out the nice, clearer frequencies of that lead. So we're bringing in the ARP slowly as well, again to build energy. Pretty sure it's this filter here. So you can see that filter very, very slowly opening there. Let's carry on. So I've just layered up the clap tail with some snares. So just letting you know, we've thickened out the clap at this section here with some snares which are panned left and right, and that's just duplicated the track. 1 panned left, as you can see up here, 1 panned right, and 20 milliseconds delay. If you don't put the delay in, it will just sound like they're down the center. And in a second we're going to introduce a small riff here. So it's like a counter melody, if you like, and we just bring down the cutoff on the ARP stabs to make way for the new melody. You can't have both playing together at full blast. It would just sound too cluttered. This is Trance Plucker. It's actually Big Trancer. I must have changed that at some point, so I'll just rename that. Yeah, actually I remember now, I tried about 4 or 5 different presets on this particular section, and Big Trancer was the one that sounded better for this particular section of the track. So this is the filter we're automating this time around, exactly the same, just a high cut filter just opening up, which you can see here. So take out the drums to really make way for this melody to come through. And of course, to reduce the energy slightly before when it all kicks back in again here. That's all explained in our song structure masterclass. So, same melody, but with a huge double 8000 synth preset here. I love the sound of this, it just sounds amazing. It's got a bit of glide on it as well. That is such a lush sounding preset. I've also got a bit of realm on that as well. It has got reverb on it, by the way, in here. But if you just double it up with a bit of realm as well, it just sounds so amazing. So just play that transition again. And this is being supported by this layer of power saw. I've just made that a bit more interesting with the FX modulator, which is a new plugin in Cubase 12. So that is supporting that lead. I'll just mute it for a second and then bring it in. So this is like our breakdown of the section. So we're going to reduce the energy. As we were talking about song structure a second ago, we're going to bring the energy right down and then slowly build it right up again until it finishes in a huge crescendo. So what have we got here? We've got white noise up, which we've already discussed. Noise hall kick. That's one we haven't used before. Again, it's a preset in Vital. Vital is free, by the way. You can go and get that from the Vital website for free. It's an amazing synth. So this is Noise Hall Kick. Amazing. And I think I've boosted that, I believe, on the low end, just to get a real sense of low end impact. So we've got the LFO stall and the white noise building up to it. So now we have some nice chords starting, which is going to be the start of our second section. So that's the first half of the track done. And we're going to change it up for the second half to create interest for the listener. So we want a nice big saw pad, which has been filtered down. So that's here, modern saw pad, obviously in the preset pack as well. And it's the normal trick of the filter opening up slowly over time. To have a quick look at these chords for anyone that's interested. Quite big chords, well, quite basic really, but they're 4-note chords, some of them 5 I think. So E flat, D minor, G minor, C minor, and a little bit later on I just start varying these slightly. This one here I'll vary it to E flat 9. Yeah, so just varying the chords slightly so they're just not the same all the way through. So we've got our ARP stabs again, also coming in gently as you can see with a cutoff. We've layered this up with a classic pike, so let's just start soloing these. ARP stabs. And I've layered it with a classic pike too, also in the pack. Classic pike 2. So this is doing the lower end. This is doing the higher end. And the ARP stabs has got extra round reverb on it. Classic pike doesn't, because the reverb on the preset was enough. So all these things coming in really gently, building up to a massive crescendo, as I said. We've got the pad as well. We've got the power saw as well, pad also coming in gently, which is more of the high-end stuff. We've got Big and Beautiful, which is a stabby sound, all just designed to increase energy. And I'm using Chopper in Cubase to give that a bit of more of a gated feel, so without. And we're using quadrifiers. We're using quadrifiers on a lot of stuff, including groups, to give well, distortion in this case, but usually I'm using it with tape saturation to add nice harmonics, which adds to the overall big sound. We've got another noise kick in here, and generally speaking, all the effects are going to start coming in, helping to, rise up the energy. Classic build snare, which is not just on the grid. We've got a bit of swing on this snare roll as well. As you can see here, they're not completely on the grid. Otherwise, it's just boring. Again, I'll go into all of this kind of stuff in the drums tutorial. When you do a kick roll, you want to be increasing the volume gently, because otherwise it's just too much. When you've got the kick full power, it's just too much. Now the track is in full swing, maximum power. This is the bit where, in theory, people go a bit crazy on the dance floor, hands in the air, all that kind of stuff. So this is the make and break of the song. And so we've done a little trick here, and I actually got this trick from Demis, off Demis's YouTube channel. And this is like an atmosphere. Let's just mute this, and then I'll show you how I actually made it. So that's what's happening in the background. And I'm going to mute it, and it makes quite a bit of difference. I'll bring it in a second. So that is quite a bit of magic, which you need for this style of music. And I believe it was the power saw. What I did was I went to power saw, added realm, put it on maximum mix, maximum size, and then I clicked the freeze button, which is this button here, so the reverb just continues forever. Bounced that down, only used one chord, by the way, bounced it down so you've got a load of audio with just one chord and a load of reverb on it, and you end up with this. So we've got quadrifuzz, adding lovely tape saturation, so lovely harmonics. We've got a bit of rhythm. We've got expander, which is to make it wider, and pushes that mid-range as well. We've got extra realm, and we've got a compressor after the reverb to really bring out that extra reverb. We're also sending quite a bit to the long reverb effects track as well. So tons of reverb on this reverbed audio. So quite a difference when you actually take that off. The track just sounds slightly flat without it. And then we just obviously bring all the drums back in again. Oh, we've got a hat loop I made here. So I did this in the drums course. It's just a load of random samples, percussion samples I think, on all the different keys in a sample track. And it's just triggering different ones. And they're off the grid, as you can see, which makes it more interesting. So that's running in the background as well. That's using Groove Agent. As I say, loads of different samples on different pads. Just helping with the high-end frequency a little bit, just supporting that open hat. So that's pretty much it, really. I just varied the, the riff a little bit from time to time with a couple of flicks here and there, and then we just go into the outro. And obviously we just bring the volume down and the energy down with all the filters, bring them all down slowly till it goes to the DJ friendly outro. That's all you got to do. So I hope you're as surprised as I was that you can make a full blown trance track out of one preset pack for Vital. I'm really impressed with the results actually from just one pack. Really amazing stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video and the walkthrough of this track. If you got any value out of this track at all, please do like and subscribe, especially if you want to see more stuff like this from us. And don't forget to check out Demis's YouTube channel. It's amazing stuff. He has some great tutorials on trance on there, and he's a very, very talented sound designer as well. He does packs for Vital and June and other synths as well. So if you're interested, I'm just going to play the whole song now. I'll probably start it from where the bass actually comes in. If not, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.